Jelly Bean Ice Cream Laura has asked me, hello Somi, can you do a video on PulseX and a price prediction for each year? Purely for entertainment. Yes, we are here to entertain, my friend. So I want to know this too. So before you get digging into anything, we're going to have to look at the HEX adoption. It all goes off the number of people. So HEX started all the way down here. HEX started with about 5,000 people. And this pink line I'm following up here, today it's got about 155,000, so it's growing. But the price predictions all come from the number of people. So we have to guess. We are venturing into the unknown. The difference between PulseX adding 500,000 people or 1 million or 2 million gives you wildly different estimates. I'm just going to pick around 1 million. It's about 140,000 people sacrificed. I'm going to assume maybe we get to, let's just say 1.4 million around there. So maybe you add 1.2, 1.3, we get around there. Using Metcalfe's law, you can try to estimate, maybe that'll give around a 100x price, but there's wild deviations. So what I've done is I want to know, like, is this even possible? Of course it's possible, okay? Because Bitcoin has 40 million unique people, 40 million. And these are not unique wallets that are just spammed. These are unique people estimated, right? 40 million, that's a lot, okay? So what about Ethereum? Ethereum is estimated to have, I think, 15 million unique people. Remember, it has more wallets. There are like 100 million plus wallets out there, but these are unique people estimated. Could be even higher. I want you to know, look how high Cardano is. Cardano's ranked 7, and it only has 50,000 daily active users per day. So you can see, even with not that many users, or is it even possible to get a large amount of people? Yes, it is. So anything is possible. Doge has about 4.8 million people. Okay, that's huge. Shiba Inu, it's a miracle, started with 850 people. It went to 1.2 million people in 1 year. So I know these off the top of my head. So PulseX adding 1 million people, is it unheard of? No, it's not. So it is very possible. Okay, now I have the PulseX chart here, and what I've done is I've modeled it off the HEX price. So the HEX price, let's have a look at this. The HEX price, if you look at this chart, there are 3 different sections. The first section is here, this one. This is the washing of the weak hands. For markets to go up higher, we just need to get the weak people out. We need to get the weaklings off the train. The weaklings sell. What I've done is I can mark for you different areas where we might think PulseX is on its day one sacrifice. So what I'm trying to do is trying to say, hey, if we measured the PulseX return to the very top whenever it happens, is it going to look like as if we started from day one of HEX amplifier, which is the yellow flag, or day one Uniswap listing, which is right here, or the very, very bottom? Now, the very bottom would be the obvious, most optimistic case because you get a whopping 10,000x on your money. I personally don't think we're going to get there. We might not even get the day one Uniswap listing because, as you can see, PulseX dropped, even though it's on low liquidity, dropped 93% here. So they need a 14x just to get back to this break even for us. I know the bridge is clogged and it's getting unclogged and it's coming, but hey, the chart has been painted. That's all we care about. So I'm going to just make a wild assumption. I'm going to take the midpoint between day one Uniswap listing for HEX and the flag, which is the day one, which is the first day of the adoption amplifier, which was the worst price. I'm going to take just the middle and I'm going to see how high HEX went to the very, very top. About a 776x, which is fantastic if you ask me. You know, to the first area, this middle box, that's what I call the Bitcoin halvening run. So that'll be the actual next place we go. So I'm going to guess, this is just me, I think anywhere from a 2x, you see this is a little 200%, a 2x up to about a 20x from day one sacrifice is going to be the range before we then have to rinse the new set of people. And you're going to see a lot of weak people exit. So when PulseX reaches the bottom of its ranges here, you're going to see a lot of sharks and whales. They're going to be getting out. They're going to be getting out a lot because a lot of people, man, they put in $1 million. They're happy with the 7x on that. Okay. Now, I know you're going to say, hey, isn't everybody getting a 20x? No. The 20x is at the very top. Nobody's selling that part. these top parts, only 5% sell. Okay, no one really gets that. Everybody gets an average price in the middle. So, you know, maybe they've made a clean 10x on their 1 million. They're happy to get out. A clean 10x on 500K. Many people want to get out. So I'm not getting out. I'm just letting you know. This is not even the real crypto run we're here for. The final box is what we're here for. The final box is where things go absolutely mental. This is where we enter, and I have this drawn here for you. We go from a belief, so everybody believes in the market now. We believe that the rally is real, and then we get optimistic that we can conquer, and then that turns into thrill. It gets so exciting, and then there's euphoria. It's the top, and it's just a volcanic eruption, and that's the end. Okay, so I've tried to model PulseX off that. And what did we get? So I know one thing about Richard Hart, founder of HEX and PulseChain and PulseX. He likes to brag. So what I did was on this chart, was very cheeky. I measured a 1000x from the low of this print. That's what I did. So right here, I measured a 1000x and I moved it all the way up and I got a price here. And I want to say, hey, at what price does Richard Hart get the chart out and say, hey, my coin's up 1000x? How high are we from the day one sacrifice at that point? It is a 70x for us. I know I've written 71 here, 70, 71x. So what I've done is I've marked that on our chart. But also what I've done is, assuming the Bitcoin halving run, which is 2024, where would PulseX land? I have it right here for you. So what I'm going to do is change this to a little cute 4-hour chart. You can see more clearly now. So this is imagining 2024. So as we conquer this year, this middle part would probably be anywhere from a 2x to a 20x from our day one sacrifice. So you can write here 2x to 20x from day one sac. We've got it right here. I'm just going to assume this is where the weekends need to be rinsed. Okay. I just think, yeah, it's the first 10x. People like to get out on their psychological round numbers. It happened with HEX. It might happen with this. Okay. We are not going to be there for like exiting reasons. We're going to be there to be gearing up for potentially 2025. Crypto historically, after the Bitcoin halving, we adjust upwards, but about 9 to 12 months beyond the Bitcoin halving, we start to get really excited. That's where the big gains come. And so what I've actually done is, okay, I've actually got the very, very top. I've got a price here and you can see it. 1 PLSX equals 0.05. So what I did was I measured this 2 to 20x. I try to measure, hey, if we roughly repeat where HEX is, where do we land up here? And what I also plotted around this line, this matches up. You know what this line is? This line matches. If you go to the very, very bottom and then you just go all the way up, okay, it's not a completely exact, but around here, it does about a 4,500x, which matches Ethereum's ICO run. So, you know, if we really want, we can actually come down here and we can see where does an exact 10,000x land us. You want to see that exact number? 10,000x. There you go. It's around here. It is around here. It's exactly where that number is. So if we were to look at it, you can see it's about PLSX, about 0.07, which is here, to about 0.09. So this is roughly these lines, if it does a 10,000x. So I'm just going to write in between 0.07. That would be around the 10,000x. Are we going to get there? Who knows? Who knows? We don't know. But I can tell you this is what it would look like if we got there. Obviously, there are risks. There are big risks with this. Firstly, there's no guarantee that we keep growing people. We can get to a point and we can stall off. That's one world scenario that happens. Another world scenario that happens, I don't like this, but the other world scenario is we're just getting the party started. The crypto industry poops to bed. Bitcoin gets destroyed. Ethereum gets destroyed. Something happens, curses us. We get some bad luck. This is a possibility. We might be so ready and geared for 2025, but something might happen that just gets everyone too excited, too fast, and we never get there. But you can protect yourself from this. So yeah, I have a 10,000x measurement here. 1 PLSX equals 0.07. Isn't that great? But you can really take advantage of the potential danger in the future by, if you're down here, we're all the way down here. Okay, you don't have to succumb yourself to bad luck up there. You can just go more aggressive. You can accumulate however much you want and say, hey, you know what? I am happy to be in this zone of friendship up here and get out somewhere along the way. You don't have to pick the exact top. This is if it all repeats. But this is what it would look like. Okay, so day one sacrifice would get about 70x. That would be the 1000x, you know? So is day one sacrifice going to get to a 700x? That would make it the 10,000x from the bottom. Now we're dealing with numbers. It's completely up to the mind of the crowd and the invisible hand and the ducks when we get there. We can't predict any of this. If you were to ask me, what's a super conservative number? You're like, hey, what's a number I just got to hit where you think we should get there, man, in the next couple of years? I mean, you could just get somewhere down here, 0.004. Okay, so 0.004. So most people, if you had 10 million PLSX, that's $40,000. Okay, so yeah, it's not an enormous amount, but hey, it's still big. You can increase that, you know, like just imagine you increase that by a 10x. If you try to get 100 million PulseX, like you're dealing with some better numbers and you'll be staking. And that's not the end. That's just like super conservative. The party doesn't have to stop there. Okay, you can still keep going higher and higher from here. It's just a number where you're like, okay, I'm thinking about exiting in the past, because look what happened to HEX, man. Okay, on the linear chart. I'm going to delete these just so you can see. Look what happened to HEX, okay? HEX had a 97% drop from the top. That's all you think about. But what if you could go back in time? What if someone started saying to you, hey, man, I think we're a bit overheated? What if they just put it in your head? Anywhere from 6 to 10 cents. Now, I'm not saying when you hear, hey, this price run might be 1,000x, might be 10,000x. When someone says, like me, it might be overheated, doesn't mean it's going down. It's to help you. It's to think, okay, perhaps when I start to see anything too green, right, that makes me excited and euphoric, instead of adding more, I should be taking off the table. That's what you should be saying. So I'm not even going to pretend that you would be able to guess that it was going to stop up there at 50 cents. But at least what it will do is when HEX crosses 18 to 20 cents, you're not thinking, oh my God, I got to go all in now. You're in the mindset of, hey, this is potential danger, right? Even though everybody's excited, the party can stop any day now. That's the mindset you want to be in. And that's exactly the mindset I teach, and why you all like, subscribe, and press that bell button. It's why you all come here. You want to see, okay, what can we do? Because you can't prevent this. This is all outside of your control. All of this, we have no control. What if PulseX does this? We don't know where it's going to stop, man. You have no idea where it's going to stop. Look at this. It can go anywhere. But wouldn't you have liked someone who could tell you all the way back here, hey, before the crowd realizes that this might be huge, enormous, all the buy and burn and the pulse chain community, everything's going, before everyone actually catches on, if you were aggressive early, you don't have to deal with the pain of disappointment later. So that's what it would look like. This first box is where we are now, the rinsing part. It's painful, but it needs to be done. For us to enjoy the first Bitcoin halving run, which is might be a 2024 type of pump, somewhere there. This is where we go anywhere from a 2x to a 20x around this zone. For us to enjoy that, we've got to get rid of these weekends first. Then when we're in that Bitcoin halving run zone, then we've got to get rid of those weekends, and eventually we'll go to the absolute moon party. Like, subscribe, bell button, all friends. Tell your mum and dad that you love them.